Hey everybody, it is Wednesday of Holy Week, and this is our next day of our Holy Week experience. Our scripture today is Matthew 26, 6 through 13. If you'd like to go ahead and take a moment to read that, you can do that. You can pause the video now. Okay, this is a great story. We get some hints about some different customs and cultural elements of the time and place in which Jesus lived. And we just get an interesting story where Jesus continues to let the disciples and the people that he loves know what is getting ready to happen. He tries to give them messages over the course of the whole week that will prepare them for what is coming. So here he is in the town of Bethany. My students, I hope the ones that went to or that attended our virtual Sunday school last Sunday, we talked about what happened in the town of Bethany and who lived there. And we find out about another character if we look in the Gospel of John's account of this same story. We find out that they are at the home, here in Matthew, we find out they're at the home of Simon the leper. But Bethany, we know that that's where Mary and Martha and Lazarus lived. And we saw last week in Sunday school that when Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, that really made a stir. And there was even a plot to kill Lazarus after that happened. So here they are. We find that we are at a dinner party. Martha is serving as usual. I believe that's mentioned in the account of John. Yes. So she is serving dinner, and Mary, we also find that out in John's account. Mary takes this pound of this expensive, fragrant oil and pours it on Jesus. She pours it on his head, his beard, it's just running over him. And really, we know that when someone is anointed with oil, we always are going to associate that with being marked as royalty. But Mary did it as an act of worship, as an act of honor here at this dinner. And we also find out that, one thing that we believe is happening is that this amount of ointment, this fragrance in this alabaster jar, is her dowry or her bride price. This is a financial investment. It would be worth a great deal of money. One of the accounts says that I believe it's 300 denarii, so that's 300 days' wages. So it's a very significant investment, and that would be given to her really at her wedding as a source of financial stability to her husband, a gift kind of to them as a married couple to start them off on the right foot. So when Mary pours this out on Jesus, the disciples do think it's a waste. Not just a waste because it could have been sold and given to the poor, but really a waste almost of her life and her security. She has poured out almost her chance at getting married, because if you don't have a dowry or a bride price, why would you be married back then? Again, culture was very different, but she has given up her security. One thing to think about is she does this before Jesus's arrest, and y'all, they did not bathe as often as we do now, much less frequently. And so this scent, do y'all have any friends who use essential oils? I have some friends who do, and I always know when they're around because quite often they have this smell of a lot of these great ancient kind of scents because they use them for all the different reasons, for cleansing and, calming, all kinds of different things. And this scent would have been in his hair, on his body, in his clothes, in his beard, and it's something that Jesus would have been able to smell. It's not It is something that would have carried him, it could have been something that reminded him of this act of worship that Mary performed there in a way that she honored him at this moment. I do love the cast of characters at this party. We have got Lazarus, who has been raised from the dead, and his two sisters. And we have got someone referred to as Simon the leper. So Simon, obviously at this point, did not have leprosy, but he was still referred to as a leper because Jesus had obviously healed him from leprosy. So we've got this kind of odd hodgepodge cast of characters hosting this party. And essentially Simon, when he was cured from leprosy, essentially he was brought back into community, just like Lazarus was brought back into community when he was raised from the dead. So this is a great story with a lot of different elements, a lot of different people, and I hope that you will take a chance to read this and think about how we can offer ourselves, and sometimes that means offering our security, offering the things that we think are going to keep us safe, but sometimes we offer those up to Jesus, but most of all, we offer our very lives as worship, just like Romans 12:1-2 reminds us. So I hope y'all will think about that, and we're going to take a little bottle of perfume. It smells good. We're going to put it in our Holy Week space to remind us of this woman. And the passage at the very end of the passage that we read in verse 13 says, "Truly I say to you, wherever this gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will also be told in memory of her." So that was Jesus letting us know that her story was worth telling. And I hope that you will pour out your lives as an offering to Jesus, and that this week just is a continuous reminder that that God is here to sustain us, and that what we offer up to God, He will return in many different ways. All right. Thank y'all. Bye-bye.